Hey guys, I'm back with the story What If Goku Was Trapped in the Time Chamber and Became the Supreme Creator Part 4. Please like, comment and subscribe for more. Also, if you're wondering why I'm spending a lot of time on this fight, it is because there will be many other fights in the future. I'm not sure how long I will make this story, but since you guys like it a lot I will make it a long series, plus I have a lot of ideas for this story. Thanks. We pick up the story with Cumber, who had just transformed into his Super Saiyan 3 and was ready to go another round with the God of Destruction. Champa rushes towards Cumber, looking to end the fight. He goes for a kick to his stomach that Cumber barely blocks. He then goes for a punch to the face that the Saiyan also blocks. Cumber shoots Kai blasts that the God of Destruction that easily evades them. He then tries to power up another giant red ball to destroy Champa, but as he was charging the giant red ball of energy, Champa appears behind him in blinding speed and kicks him with a lot of power that sends him crashing to the ground. Champa wastes no time and charges an energy beam to end the battle. Cumber was laying in a crater on the ground. From the blow he had received, it felt like he was hit by a train. He looks up and sees the purple cat charging an energy beam. He shakily stood up and began to charge his own red beam. After this, he would be completely out of energy. Champa launches the energy beam and Cumber does the same. The two attacks collide and began to push for dominance. The struggle, well, at least for Cumber, lasted a minute. Champa raises his power a little more and his attack overpowers Cumber and hits him dead on, creating a lot of debris and smoke and loud thud to be heard. And when the smoke clears, we could see a Cumber who was beaten badly and back in his base form. Unconscious, Champa went over to Vados and the other Saiyans and said he is really strong and has lots of potential. He will be useful. He then tells Vados to take him with them back to his planet Calicalifla, along with Kale. Ask why did he want to take him to his planet and train him. We already got our 10 fighters for the tournament. Champa looks at Vados that silently nods. She then begins to tell about how Goku was trapped in a time dimension and there is a possibility he won't make it out, so having Cumber as a backup in case that he doesn't manage to leave in time will be good on their end. The three Saiyan were shocked upon hearing this, but Caulifla and Kale were sad, feeling they wouldn't ever see Goku again, to confess their feelings, but they kept hope that one day he would return. Champa then says, but anyway, if Vados get Cumber and let's go back to my planet, I could use some sweets. After this little workout, Vados puts the unconscious Cumber in the cube with the others and they speed away to Champa's planet. We then skip to the palace of Zeno-sama, who was sitting on his throne with his two bodyguards beside him, having a conversation with his attendant Shinken. I wonder what my friend Goku has been up to. He hasn't visited me in a while, said Zeno. The Grand Priest then responds saying he might be training really hard, my lord, for the up-and-coming tournament. He had achieved great power in the last tournament when he unlocked and mastered Ultra Instinct, but he must train extremely hard if he wants any chance of winning in the up-and-coming tournament. The warriors from the other multiverses are on a completely different level compared to ours, even their deities. Zeno gets a little sad, but the nods and gains a smile and says, well, at least he will become a lot stronger and he will be more fun to watch, he says happily. To Shinken give a nod and they continue to discuss other things. With Universe 11 we could see Jiren along with Toppo on Belmont's planet training. Jiren, who had already mastered his Ultra Instinct and was trying to get more power but couldn't seem to go beyond that, but he had came up with an idea he wanted to try, so he went to Belmont and asked him to teach him the ways of destruction. Belmont agreed, but asked why did he want to learn Hakai energy when he had already unlocked and mastered Ultra Instinct. Belmont, being arrogant, thought that Jiren was for sure the strongest fighter in the multiverse, but Jiren, after fighting Goku, knew better than to think he is the strongest and didn't want to lose again. Due to him being arrogant and complacent with the power he now had, he wanted to have a rematch with Goku and also see how much stronger he has become. Jiren then told Belmont he just wanted to expand his power some more. Belmont just nodded and told Margarita to train Jiren. She did as told and went off to begin their training with Toppo. He was frustrated he couldn't seem to get any stronger and was trying to find a solution to that problem back in the dimension with Goku and the Great Lords. Another month had passed, which meant another 30 trillion years for Goku and 2 more months until the tournament. He had just finished his training with Hades and was laying down resting, and Goku for once was actually happy the training was over. Hades was a cruel teacher. He seemed to love training him to the brink of death every time, but the results were worth the torture. Hades came and sat near Goku and said, well, Goku, you have learned everything I have to teach you. Note, I will tell you Goku's new powers and abilities he learned from Hades. He learns how to fuse demon power with all of his Super Saiyan forms. He also has unlocked demon eyes. When they are used, they multiply the person's power by 1,000,000,000. It at the pinnacle of demon power. It has other abilities that you will see later. Goku also learned demon abilities, one being him able to gain all the power and abilities of anyone he kills and being able to trap someone in hell for eternity. Goku continued to talk to Hades a little more and asked him about the person in all gold armor who trapped them all here. Hades tells him he doesn't know anything about him, or if he even still exists. It had been trillions of years ago, but he told Goku to not let his guard down and that it is still a possibility he is still lurking around. Goku nods and takes Hades' advice into consideration. Tori then stepped forward and said, "I will be training you next." Goku gets up and says, "Alright, and what will you be training me?" "And I will give you great wisdom and help you increase your current power. Also I will train you to unlock the blue eye known as the gods." Goku nods and follows Tori for training. Meanwhile in Multiverse 10, inside the King of Everything's palace, we could see a man with white Saiyan-like hair with red lines above his eyebrows and wore gold and blue Saiyan-like armor. This person was known as Sai, and he was a Saiyan and angel hybrid. He was kneeling in front of his Omni King, who had black Saiyan-like hair, and he wore no shirt and wore baggy white pants with golden boots, with a red cape around his waist. This person was Kuro, the legendary Super Saiyan and the Omni King of Multiverse 10, and he was discussing his plan of revenge against Zeno-sama with one of his best warriors. "I will make Zeno and Dashinkan pay for how they did me," said Kuro. Sai responded saying, "Do you think that would be a good idea, Lord Kuro? The tournament of power is coming up, and Akuma, one of the creator god's warriors, will be there, and also our superior." Kuro gritted his teeth in anger and began to think about the past flashback a couple thousand years ago. We could see a young Kuro training with Dashinkan. Zeno was looking for a potential successor, and he believed that Kuro would be the one. He was born with incredible power and potential. He was a Saiyan for Universe 8, but was sent to another planet and was betrayed and left for dead by his race. They felt that the baby would be a threat to their race and that he was too strong, so they casted him aside. So Zeno took him in and began to let Dashinkan train him. The boy grew over time and had become extremely powerful, and he also became full of hatred and was arrogant. He could never let go of how his own race had did him as a child and returned and killed off the Saiyans along with their planet. And due to him being a student of the Grand Priest and rumored to possibly become the successor of Zeno, he was treated highly by the other deities and became arrogant, treating others like they were dirt beneath his feet. And when the day had come for him to take the mantle of Omni King, Zeno denied him because he saw darkness in his heart and how corrupted he had become from power, and that it had changed him. Kuro was furious and tried to rebel against Zeno and take the position of Omni King by force, but in the end he was defeated. But instead of killing him, Zeno-sama sent him to another multiverse, hoping he would start a new life and turn over a new leaf. But Kuro never changed. He trained for thousands of years and became the strongest in the new multiverse he was sent to, which was Multiverse 10. He then later became the Omni King, but he was still not satisfied. He wanted to kill the one who betrayed him the most, which was Zeno, and he now had enough power to do it. End of flashback. You're right, Sai, I cannot exact my revenge while the creator god's guard is attending the tournament. So I'll take your advice and keep my cool for now, but after that's all said and done his life will come to an end," he said with an evil smile. Back in Zeno-sama's multiverse, another month went by. In Universe 11, Jiren had mastered God of Destruction energy and was now trying to make a new transformation with Universe 6. A lot had changed. One was that the Champa and the Caulifla, along with Kaba and Kale, had befriended Cumber and had been training with him the past month. Caulifla and Kaba had ascended past Super Saiyan Blue and obtained Super Saiyan Blue evolution and was working on mastering it fully, while Kale had mastered her Super Saiyan Blue and decided to help Cumber get stronger. She taught him Super Saiyan God and was training him how to master it. With Universe 7, Vegeta and Gohan had gotten stronger with their transformations but couldn't seem to reach a high level, while Broly had already mastered Super Saiyan Blue and now was working on a new transformation. Back with Goku in the dimension, he had just got through training with Tori and had gained great wisdom and more techniques, along with the blue god's eye. With this godly eye, he can see the far past and the far future, and he can also see someone past and future along with some other cool abilities you will see later. He was now on his last teacher and had 1 month left before it was time to leave. Goku's power as of now is off the charts. The white dragon came toward Goku and said, "I am your last teacher. We'll show you techniques and help you increase your power." Goku nodded and said, "Then let's get to it." So another 30 trillion years would go by, and Goku was now done with his training with the 5 great lords. Goku had been training for 150 trillion years, and he was now ready to leave the dimension. and returned back to his multiverse. Goku had got rid of his old orange and blue outfit and wore one similar to the one Goku Black wore. Goku looked at the 5 figures that became like family to him. He really was sad that he had to go. Murno looked at Goku and said, "Before you leave, we had one last gift for you." "And what is that?" asked Goku curiously. "Our power. We trained you to become as strong as all of us. Now we will give our power to you so that you may become stronger." Goku accepted, and all of the Great Lord began to disappear. Goku let go of a small tear, seeing them leave. Yamashi, seeing this, said, "Don't cry, Goku, you are the true embodiment of our will, and I trust you with guiding our race down a better path and to kill the person who trapped us here long ago. We now leave it all to you." They all said in unison. Their bodies then turned into nothing but energy and flow right into Goku. He fell on one knee, panting after receiving so much power at once. After he caught his breath, he stood up and said to himself, "I will revenge you guys." As he tightens his fist, he then uses his power and makes a portal back to inside the hyperbolic time chamber. Once back to where he started, he got an idea. He had learned all about creation for Tori, so he began to make 7 dragon spheres. He then transformed into Super Saiyan 10 and gave 100% of his power to the empty spheres. The Dragon Balls glowed and out came a gray and red color dragon, the size of Zalama. The dragon looked at its creator and said, "Hey Goku-sama, and what wish can I grant you?" Goku asked, "How many can you grant me?" "Unlimited," responded the dragon. Goku then asked the dragon to put cape over him that hides his face. The dragon then says, "That's easy," as its eyes shine and a black cape appears on Goku. "What will be your next wish?" Goku then says, "I would like you to take a human form." The dragon then began to shrink down in a bright light. When the light cleared, we could see a woman in her mid-20s with gray long hair, unconscious, laying on the floor. Goku wrapped her in a blanket and sat her on the bed and decided he would wait for her to awake before leaving, but in the meantime he would check on things in the other universes. Goku, using his power, created a mirror that showed him anything he wanted and looked in Universe 11 and saw Jiren in a new power training with Vados. He then looked into Universe 6 and saw the 3 Saiyans training, but he saw another Saiyan there as well. Goku then said to himself, "So they found another Saiyan in their universe. He is pretty strong. I guess he might be my replacement." He then skipped to his universe on Beerus planet. He gained a smile, seeing Broly, Vegeta and Gohan training. "You guys have come far with your training and I'm proud of you, Gohan." He then went and looked at Earth, specifically his home, and what he say surprised him. Milk was cheating on him with another man while Goten was at school. Goku, seeing this, surprisingly didn't feel angry but happy. He thought about his relationship with Milk while he had been away, and he realized that they had got married over a silly childhood promise. She would always complain about him not being present and always wanting to train, but she never understood. If he had never trained, they would have never lived this long and had children. He was happy she moved on and found a normal person to be with. Goku only loved her as a friend. He liked women who were like him, strong, and Milk was a human earthling and he was a Saiyan warrior. They were just like oil and water, they don't mix. Goku ended his mirror technique and turned around and saw the women waking up. She went to get dressed and came out. She then asked, "Are you ready to leave now, Goku-sama?" Goku said, "Just Goku is fine." The female dragon nodded and said, "So what will my name be?" Goku put hand on his chin and said, "What about Isabella?" The female dragon nodded with a big smile and said, "I love it." Goku gave a smile and said, "So are you ready?" Isabella nodded and asked, "So where will we go first?" Goku says to Zeno-sama, "Palace." "I know, he is dying to see me." Goku pulled out a purple and blue button, but before he could push it, Isabella suggested he lower his power. Goku said, "You're right, I must keep my power hidden." So he lowered his power to 0.0000001%. He then said, all said. He grabs Isabella by the hand that makes her blush and pushes the button. They both arrive at the palace and were immediately greeted by Dashinkan, who had a serious expression. "Who are you and why are you here?" asked a serious Dashinkan. "I'm hurt. You don't you remember me?" The grand priest, upon hearing that voice, eases a bit and says, "Goku, is that you?" Goku takes off his hoodie and says, "I know I have been gone for a while, but I wanted to visit Zeni before the tournament." The grand priest nods and says, "Follow me," as he leads them to Zeno. While on the way, the angel tells Goku about how Lord Zeno missed his presence and has been bored since he left. They arrive at Zeno's throne. Zeno, upon seeing Goku, runs up to his friend, giving him a hug. Zeno then says, "So the reason you have visited me must mean your training is done now." Goku gives his traditional smile and says, "You're right, and I have become a lot stronger." Zeno lets go of Goku and returns to his throne. He then say, "The tournament is tomorrow and I can't wait to see how strong you have gotten." Zeno looks at Isabella and asks, "Who is that?" Goku responds, saying, "She is a good friend I met a couple months ago." He wanted to keep her dragon identity a secret because if they knew how powerful of a dragon she was, he might not be allowed to compete in the tournament. The Grand Priest then remembers something. Goku, while you were gone on your training, Universe 6 found a Saiyan to fill your place in case you didn't make it, but since you're here now I should probably tell Vados there is no need. Goku stopped him, saying no, that's fine, let him compete in my place, I will still fight as well. But there is no need to kick him off. The Grand Priest looks at Zeno and says, is this okay, my lord? The max amount of fighters were 10 from each multiverse. If we bring it extra this could upset our higher ups and seem like disrespect. Zeno shakes his head and says I'm sure they will let it slide. Plus, this whole tournament is about building better bonds with each other. Shinken nods and then asks Goku is he going to return to Earth. Goku says no and that he would like to spend the night here and prep for tomorrow. Zeno agrees and Shinken take Goku to his room where he will stay and where he could train. Alright guys, that's all for part 4. Please like, comment and subscribe, it motivates me to continue this story. Thanks.